Hey, what's going on everyone? I am the OPJellicent and we're battling for the playoffs of season number 7 of the WPL. Up against Dominic Mallano and his New Jersey Naganadevils. He did very well in the regular season. He ended up finishing 8-4, which is definitely a very solid record. We ended up finishing 9-3, which I was very happy about. As I stated at the beginning of the season, my goal was to finish with a better record than I did last season and make the playoffs, which we did end up doing. I finished 8-4 last season, which Dom ended up with this season, and this season I ended up going 9-3, so that's definitely very cool. And yeah, this game right here, I was definitely I prepped a lot for this game because for those of you who don't know, Dom actually knocked me out of the ICBA Season 3 playoffs, which was definitely very unfortunate, so I wanted to get my revenge right here. So I definitely built quite an in-depth team right here, and let's just go ahead and hop right into it. So we have a Rocks 3 attacks Deontay right here. The Rock Polish should have done super well against his team, but there were two big stops to it, mainly the Ditto and potential Aqua Jet on the Azumarill, because Azumarill's Aqua Jet does like 80+% even without a choice band, so I really could not run Sweeper Deontay right here. I had to go with a Rocks variant, so that's our Stealth Rocker. Then we have AV Raikou right here, which is pretty much just my best response to his Gengar. I can take Sludge Waves, Shadow Balls, and it also helps me pivot it on Zapdos, because I can't get Discharge Parried or Thunder Waved or anything like that, so Raikou is definitely a very important mon in this game. Then our Tornadus right here is just a standard. It actually only has one attack, it's Hurricane, and then we have Taunt, U-turn, and Knockoff, so a lot of utility, but Hurricane pretty much covers everything, and it actually has a Lumberry, which you may find interesting, but if I want to knock off the Zapdos, I really don't want to risk getting static paralyzed, so I actually brought Lumberry on it in case that ends up happening. Now, if I get static paralyzed on the knockoff and then the U-turn again, that'll really suck, because the whole point of the set was to prevent a static para, and if he double pairs me, that could really be bad. Then our next mon right here is a second AV mon right here. It is our Uniclus. Not as important this match, because it was mainly meant to basically counter a Nidoqueen, which he had potential to bring, but he didn't bring the Nidoqueen, so it can take a hit from the Gengar and Oko that back if I want to use it for that. It also pivots into the Latias quite well, so that's definitely very cool. Silvally right here is definitely one of my most important Pokemon. I was really scared about Belly Drum Azumarill when prepping, so this is actually a Fizz-Def Silvally Water with enough speed for any variant of Azumarill, and we actually do 2-hit KO it with Thunderbolt, so that's definitely going to be a key factor in my plan right here. And then finally Choice Band Zygarde, which he doesn't really have any Thousand Arrow switch-ins. Neither do I though, so I have to be careful about getting kills with it, because he can always go out into Ditto after and click Thousand Arrows of his own, so that's definitely something I had to consider right here. So basically the game plan right now is just to get up my rocks if I can, prevent that Belly Drum Azumarill sweep, and just pivot around his team to the point where I can pressure him to win with my offensive core right here, which is my Zygarde and my Raikou. So let's just go ahead and hop right in and see what happens. So I end up leading off right here with my Raikou. Figured it was a pretty safe bet in case he wanted to lead off with Zapdos or Lati. He reveals to have Fake Out, which definitely sucks, but I can still definitely take 2 attacks from the Gengar if I want to, and I just U-turn out Volt Switch out right here into my Zygarde. He crits me with the Earthquake, which definitely sucks, because I would have actually been able to take some hits better right here, but I'm still going to be able to go ahead and fire off a nice Bandit Thousand Arrows right now, and he will be going for the return right here, which does quite a lot, but I get to fire off another 1,000 Arrows and pick up the first kill of the game, so that's definitely very cool. He brings out his Gengar right here. Now his 2 plays are either Icy Wind or Shadow Ball, and my Raikou can pretty much take anything right here, and I really don't want to risk a Uniclus on a Shadow Ball, so I decided to pivot out into my Raikou. Really sucks that I took so much damage on my Zygarde, because I could have kept it out of range of Azumarill's Aqua Jet, but he goes for the Icy Wind and then follows it up with the Shadow Ball, and he will be able to go ahead and do quite a bit of damage, but I do it like 85%, so that's really amazing, and Raikou will be going down right now. So the one thing that I do have to be careful about now is not losing to Zapdos, because my only real check to that right now is my Deontay. If it is max speed, it will outspeed my Zygarde, and since I'm so low on health, I will go down to Hidden Power Ice, so I really got to be careful about Zapdos, but I can go Torn here and just go ahead and click the knockoff, I believe, and I'll be able to go ahead and knock off the Zapdos' Charty Berry. So not quite sure what the Charty Berry was. I guess probably for my Deontay, if anything, and then Zygarde, I believe, also gets Stone Edge, but that's definitely very cool, and I can just go ahead and hard switch out right here. No point in going for the U-turn right there, because it would do minimal damage, and I know he's going to stay in, so he just goes right for the Volt Switch, which is a great play on his part, and he brings out the Gengar right here. And as I said, Uniclus is not an important Pokemon, and I can take a Shadow Ball based on the damage on Raikou, so I go ahead and take this kill right here, and I definitely think that was worth it. And then he goes out into the Azio and clicks Liquidation. So this was where the match started to get really tough, because I was really expecting a Belly Drum Azumarill just because it did so well against my team. But he actually brought Choice Band right here. I'm assuming it was Choice Band right away after I saw Liquidation. Obviously it could still be Belly Drum, but he probably would have set up right there because he doesn't know what my Silvally type is, and if it was something that couldn't take on the Azumarill, he would have swept me. So definitely Choice Band Azumarill was a really good bring on his part, and I definitely did not anticipate it right here, but we can still respond to it with our Silvally Water. I can go ahead and hit him up with the Thunderbolt as he just goes out into the Zapdos. Definitely unfortunate that I didn't parting shot right away, but I can go ahead and do that now and just go ahead and bring in my Mega Deontay as he goes right for the HPS. He gets another crit, which definitely won't matter in the long run. And then he goes out here into the Latias and just sacks it to Moonblast, so that was definitely very huge right there. So Latias is out of the way. It obviously wasn't the most important Pokemon, but it could have definitely 1v1'd like these three members alone, so that was really a big step forward for me. So we have a really great chance at winning this game right now. He's going to go ahead and bring out the Azumarill right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and pivot out into my Silvally, as he makes a great play and goes for the Play Rough. I think had I actually just attacked right there and gone for the Moonblast, I think a Zygarde could have come out after and then just been able to click 1,000 arrows and get another kill, but he made a great play predicting my switch out and then going right for the Play Rough. So unfortunately I get a set an attack drop, but it doesn't matter because I'm special. Thunderbolt doesn't do as much as I wanted, so I guess he has some sort of bulk, but he actually tries to go for the Liquidation. So after all that, it was not even Choice Band Azumarill. I guess it might have been like a Assault Vest or something, I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to go ahead and go for another Thunderbolt and then once again just parting shot out. And I believe this time I go ahead and bring right back my Deontay, as he's going to go ahead and go right here for the Roost, and this is a free Power Gem. I already knocked off the Charty Berry, so this is going to do a 2-hit KO with 52%, so that's really big, but that is a roll, as you guys will see later, and it's going to end up coming into play. I sack off my Silvally right here, because it's really not too necessary of a Pokemon anymore, and basically I really don't have a play right here besides bluffing with my Torn, because I have to hope he thinks I have Grass Knot or HP Steel and switch out, but I'm going to go ahead and go right for the Hurricane, and as you guys are going to see, I'm going to get pretty lucky right here and get a Hurricane Confusion, and this ended up really mattering, as you guys are going to see, because he gets to Static Para, my Lumberry pops, and I'm able to go ahead and bring out my Deontay, as he's going to go ahead and hit himself now. Right there, he told me he clicked a Volt Switch, and what would have happened was, he Volt Switches out, brings in the Ditto, and I'm guaranteed in range of Moonblast right now, and because of that, I would have lost on the spot, because Zygarde can't pick it off with Extreme Speed. He just knocks this out, and then Tornadus can't touch it at all because it has Hurricane as its only coverage, so I definitely got really lucky right there. He would have won right there, but unfortunately for him, I'm able to go right here for the Power Gem, but he's going to go ahead and get the Revenge Hacks right now, and I go ahead and low roll this Power Gem, and it only does 46%, and that really sucks. I needed that to kill. I did 52% last time, so I thought it was a safe bet. Probably should have been smarter and calced it, but unfortunately I got the short end of the stick right there, but I definitely hexed him before that, and basically now I have to sack off my Tornadus and pick this thing off with Extreme Speed, and I don't really have a way of beating the Azumarill anymore, so he's going to go ahead and 2-hit Kiyomi, obviously, because he's Choice Scarf. I bring this out, and I go right for the Extreme Speed right here, and then he's going to go ahead and bring out the Zapdos, obviously, and as you guys are going to see, this Zapdos actually is pretty strong. He goes right here for the Hidden Power Ice, and then he's actually able to go ahead and go for the Volt Switch right here, which knocks me out. Now, I got up Rocks because I was hoping that he would actually be in range of Banded Extreme Speed, but when I calced it, it actually turns out that it didn't end up mattering because Aqua Jet would have swept me anyway, so he knocks me out, and then he's going to be able to go out into the Azumarill right here. Now, granted, at this point, you guys remember he got that Earthquake crit. I would have been out of range of this Aqua Jet right here, and I would have been able to go ahead and live this and win with 1,000 arrows had he not crit me with the Frustration, but none of this would have mattered had I not confused into the hit into the Zapdos. So while it definitely sucks that I would have won this game right here had he not Frustration crit me, or I think it was the Earthquake crit, he got a normal Frustration. I definitely should not have been in a position to win anyway, but he's going to go ahead and go right here for the Aqua Jet, and that is going to be a good game. I knew that it wouldn't be a roll because Aqua Jet would always knock me out. My Extreme Speed could not knock him out, and I decided to go off the choke instead of the critical hit. And unfortunately, that is going to be the end of our season right there. So I did hope you guys enjoyed regardless, of course. Definitely a lot of hacks in this game between the 2 crits. I believe he crit my Raikou once, and he crit my Zygarde early in the game too, and then I got the Confusion, obviously. And then obviously the Power Gem roll onto the Ditto was really what was another defining factor. After I hexed him, had I gotten the Power Gem roll on the Ditto, I would have won anyway, but unfortunately it ended up working out. But obviously, I'm really glad Dom won this, because he definitely deserved to win from the start, obviously, and that's definitely going to, well, not from the start, from the point where he got confused, he should have won, but yeah, that's going to be a very entertaining game, in my opinion. I really was not too stressed out about this. Like I said, I completed my goal for the season, and I'm definitely going to be returning for next season. I'm not sure who else is going to be returning, but the rest of the playoff matches will be going up on the other coaches' channels today, or at least within the next coming days. I know a few are behind, so be sure to go ahead and tune into those, and I did hope you guys enjoyed the season, of course. I don't do recaps, so I guess we'll go ahead and end off things right here, and I'll see you next time. Later.